I sort of back? I don't know. Are we leaning into our hobbies now that we don't have a job? Maybe. I'm about to go do this 100 kettlebell swing challenge. Is it a challenge or just a workout? I don't know. But today's day one. I'm trying to practice because I'm going to be doing a 75-day challenge. Not soft or hard. I made my own rules so I wouldn't go crazy or fail super badly. So yeah, I'm just looking at my window. Also, I'll tell you guys about kind of my rebrand. As you can see, things are different. Okay, well, except me. I'm still the same. Sort of. I've leaned into the crazy a little bit more, but yeah, be right back. Okay, I just finished, and oh my god, our carpet has a bunch of little bugs in it. Not like little bugs, there's like spiders and stuff because we have a basement now and bugs just bug there. Anyway, I'm gonna go have a shower because I'm really sweaty, and that was an okay start. I mean, I'm not a tomato, so that's good. And then later I'm gonna go for a walk. So, bye. Okay, hi, I'm back and clean and have bangs because I'm just a bangs girl now because I'm balding. So I need to cover up my scalp. But hi, it's been 2 years again and there's a different background again, but we're not gonna talk about it. Because privacy is a thing that I need to lean into a little bit because in the last 2 years I somehow achieved stalker status. Like I'm being stalked. I'm not. It's not me. Anyway, so where have I been? All over the place. My job was taking up a lot of space to have hobbies, so I left this one behind. I even stopped reading completely. And recently I started again. For the month of May, I read 11 books. It's been 2 years and it's been so long that I got even almost 2-year-old puppy, if you want to see him. Where are you? Come here. Come here. He doesn't want to. You see him? He's just right there. He did it. And then there's Louis, and they're just sunbathing. They're sunbathing because they're sunbabe. So I kind of wanted to come back on because I want to lean into my hobbies again, and I've been reading more, so why not? But I'm also going to vlog a bit as well because that video you all really liked, which is surprising. I was all over the place. It was my longest video, and it has one of the most highest view counts. So apparently you like my ADHD babble. I'm going to include more lifestyle things. The recipes were really successful. Health, because I'm really focusing on health for the next while. I'm already 20 pounds down, so that's nice. I'm also participating in version 2 of the hardest reading challenge you'll ever do, which is a year long. So I won't be doing really any other challenges. And I'm doing it pretty casually. I know it's supposed to be hard, but I don't want to pressure myself too much getting back into reading. I guess I can go into my books now. Let's just bring them up on Storygraph, because who uses Goodreads anymore? Just joking. I'm testing all of the reading apps. So going into the books I read for May, it was kind of a mix of romance and then fantasy romance because I've been in a romantic mood. The first one I read was A Deal with the Devil by Elizabeth O'Rourke. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that properly. I always find like the the spelling with like the O and then the rest of the name hard to read. It's kind of like a age gap billionaire romance. And then I read the second one, which was The Devil in the Deep Blue Sea. I was kind of just looking for easy entertainment, and it was. I would maybe give them a 3 out of 5 because they were entertaining, but it's not like deep reading either. I read The Women by Kristen Hanna, which I didn't like. I don't know if people noticed what I did because I was nervous about reading it for a book club, which I didn't actually attend because I'm half Vietnamese, well, Chinese Vietnamese, and I was nervous about reading this book because of like the maybe biased views on like Americans being there, but actually I didn't like it for a totally different reason. I didn't like it because it's called The Women, which is plural, and yes, there are 3 nurses in the book, but it focuses mainly on one woman, and it's almost like the author looked up symptoms of PTSD and just put it all on one person, in my opinion. And as someone with PTSD, it's not like that. And by no means am I someone with PTSD from nursing or war things, but I felt like it was almost Hanya Yanagihara-ish, where they just like dump everything on this character, and then her 2 support nurses are her friends and pull her out of depressions and stuff, which is fine. And there's only like 2 instances where she triggers and she like ducks because like a plane is coming in, or someone says like look out or whatever, and she like ducks and hides. But like there's no, I don't know, just the connections between her triggers versus what they explain she goes through doesn't make sense to me. And most of her depression stems from 2 love interests dying who aren't dead. I just really didn't like this book. And also, like, when she's explaining what characters look like, it is very white privilege. She doesn't even mention how the Vietnamese people look, but I had counted and looked up on my Kindle how many times she mentions black people, and it comes up 22 times. And she doesn't explain anyone else like that. So it just really put me off. And the reason why I looked it up is because it happened so often that I was like, how many times does she bring this up? And so I didn't like that. I found it not very realistic to how PTSD is and how triggers are, as well as like, why is she depressed about men when there's so much more stuff in the book she should be depressed about? I don't know. I didn't like it. I read A Not So Meet Cute by Megan Quinn, which was hilarious. I would give it a 3.5 out of 5. Oh, and for The Women, I would give it maybe like a 2 out of 5. That one was really cute. It's kind of a meet cute, but with a twist, which I really enjoyed, and it was very entertaining. I read Horror Store by Grady Hendrix, which was so creepy, but it took a while to get creepy. I guess like if I reread it again, it would be creepier because I didn't notice that the furniture changes all that much until the end, and then I went back and looked at all the furniture. So I'm sure it's one of those, like, if I reread it, I'd probably find more to be scared of. But there is this like one part that really gave me the heebie-jeebies, and I read it to my boyfriend and gave him goosebumps, and he said not to read him anymore. So I would give that one a 3.5 out of 5. And then I read Quicksilver by Callie Hart. I found it very entertaining. I know that there are mixed reviews on it right now, but I liked it, and I'm not reading the bad reviews because I'm easily influenced by people's opinions, so I just avoided it. But I did find myself telling my boyfriend, I hope that there's a second book because this is actually very entertaining for me, and then found out that it's not coming out until like the end of this year. So thanks, Callie Hart. I would give this one a 3.5 out of 5 as well, just because, like, again, I'm kind of doing very casual reads on stuff that isn't, like, I don't know, of substance. It's of substance for what I'm looking for, I guess. It was good, but not a 5-star. There's definitely some problematic stuff in there, and I don't really prefer like age gaps of like, I'm 1,010 years old and she's 20, and that's not their numbers, but I don't like, you know, those types of creature age differences. And then I started Zodiac Academy, so I read 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I read the first 5. I'm in the middle of 6, but it's now June. So, and that's by Caroline Peckham and Suzanne Valenti. These are also just purely for entertainment. So much so that like during a spicy scene, my boyfriend caught me reading it, and he now started making fun of me reading this book. So that's great. I am reading book 6, and then I also started reading S finally, which I think I might have posted about, but it's S by Doug Dorst and J.J. Abrams. If you guys haven't heard about that, it has like a bunch of these inserts in it. I think there's a video on my Instagram if you want to check it out, but it's good so far. It's hard to read because there's so many different perspectives written in the margins. On the not book end, I'm also doing a 75 challenge, which I mentioned. I'm not doing hard or soft because I feel like I'll fail at both, but I made my own rules, and what those are okay, so my rules are, so the workouts will be the same as soft. I'll be doing a 45-minute walk and then a workout, either doing like dancing, or I'm also doing kettlebells, as I mentioned before, so kind of alternating between those. I found the 100 okay. It suggested doing it at 75 to 100. I made it to 100 just fine, so I'm just gonna do 100 and see where I get. And then resting for 2 days, drinking 3 liters of water, electrolytes are allowed, tracking all my food, no fast food or takeout, and focusing on kind of a loose Mediterranean diet. I'm not going to prevent myself from eating any treats because I feel like that is not the mindset I want to be in, but being under a certain calorie intake because I'm trying to create a better relationship with food, not just like be on a diet. So it's more of a shift of lifestyle. My anniversary is this weekend, so I will probably not start until the following Monday, which is June 16th. I will try to shift my thinking because I feel like a lot of my struggle has been too many diets or medications trying to help me diet, prescribed by a doctor, but they don't work for me. They make me very ill. And I think if I just shift my thinking around how food is, instead of giving myself strict rules and preventing stuff, I'll have a better time. Reading, because of my goals and my hardest whatever challenge, the hardest reading challenge you ever do. I will be reading more than 10 pages a day. I think an hour is good, other than the 24-hour challenge, which might come after the 75 days because I probably am adding too much to my plate, to be honest. Something I did add that doesn't exist on the challenges is journaling. I've always wanted to be more in depth with my journaling, but I have always found it difficult because people have read them before, whether that being friends or exes, invading my privacy. So I struggle with that. So I'm trying really hard to lean into that because I now am in a partnership that is very trusting. And when I asked, like, can you please not do that? Not that he's ever done that, but when I was like, hey, I'm gonna start journaling, just make sure you don't read it, he literally made this face. Why would I read your journal? So I think I'm okay with that. And then because I also have PTSD, my sleep is so messed up, so I'm gonna try and get on top of my sleep, which is aiming to sleep at least 8 hours, which is very, very hard for me because it usually takes around 10 to 11 hours of being in bed to reach 8 hours, which is a long time for like active changes to happen and then staying in bed. Like, it's not good for your body to be laying that long. At least it's not good for mine. So I'm gonna have a hard time, but I'm hoping that if I go to sleep and wake up at certain times, I might trick my body into just sleeping properly, because right now I will stay up. A common symptom of PTSD is staying up so long until you pass out. It's also a symptom of ADHD, which I also have. So I'm going to try and kind of work my way through that, because it's been a while since I've had normal, healthy sleep. So we'll see how that goes. But the thing is to consistently wake up between the window of 8 and 10 a.m. I have just bought new shoes, which I have to break in. So I'll probably have some sore feet at first. I'm going to start that on the 16th. And then the reading challenge, I'll probably also start on the 16th just to stay consistent, but I probably won't do like the longer or more difficult challenges until after the 75 days. The challenge will run from June 16th to August 30th for the 75. I'm starting in a good place because I've already been losing some weight and these puppies need exercise, so it'll be good. On this channel going forward is just kind of a lifestyle vlog shift with some book-ish stuff instead of strictly books, because I feel like there wasn't enough content to post very often, especially with during that time I had not had the mental capacity to read. While I was working, I just came home and watched TikToks because that's all my brain could handle. So now that I'm kind of free to lean back into my hobbies, we'll probably hopefully have better work-life balance, and we'll see where I get. But anyway, shorter than before video, welcome back, and I hope to see you again soon and not in 2 years. So I hope you take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye.